Hey Gail. Okay, I just try and show you. So I'm actually using a real piece of, I guess, grad dress that I pulled off of a grad dress from earlier this season. So it'll mimic the shape and everything of the dresses. But okay, so how I normally start is I actually just fold. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'll fold and I'll just get it started. So usually I make the teeny tiny fold and then I'll put a pin in it just to hold it down, just to make sure that it stays narrow under the presser foot. Where's my little pin? So it kind of looks like that. You can see it? Oh, there it is. So it's all started, ready to go. Usually it does need some fiddling at the end just to make sure that everything stays in place and it stays skinny. But I'll take the needle out once it's under there because I know it's not going anywhere. Put in a couple stitches. Okay. So now you kind of have it like you would. Make sure you can see it. And then what I usually do is I have it so it's folded like this. And then I'll use my fingers to help tuck it under, just so you could really get that narrow and just tuck it as much as you need it. And then once it's tucked and it's kind of along the road, okay, so now it's in a good spot. So now it can kind of start automatically rolling. So see, as I'm really hoping you can see this. As I'm pulling on it, you can kind of see right here how it's starting to roll. So you kind of just keep letting it do its thing. Give it a little bit of a pull and then tuck it with your finger so it makes that nice narrow hem. And what I usually do is I usually give it a pull from the back as well, so it'll help keep everything tight and straight, and then you won't have to worry about it undoing before it gets under the actual needle. So again, just give it a little bit of pull, and that I'm doing the pulling with my thumb and my pointer here on my right hand, and tucking under with my pointer on my left, and then I use my middle finger to actually guide it and then hold it down. All right. So and then usually with dresses, so the grain of the fabric sometimes gives me a problem because it'll roll really well in when you're with the grain, but then once you're starting to get more on an angled grain and when it starts going off grain, it'll really give you trouble. So I keep folding and I go really slow around those hard corners. Like that was a corner now. See how it's just like, see when I pull on it, it doesn't, so as I pull it, this is the grain right here. The grain is right here, but obviously the fabric comes out here. So yeah, and it just gives you a hard time when you're not going with the grain. So I actually just use a pin, and instead of using my pointer finger, I actually use a pin to tuck it under, right under the pressure foot, and then you know that it's not going anywhere. It's actually taken me a long time to actually figure out what is a good way to get around these corners. They're just a pain in the butt. So I just have figured out just using a pin just works out the best. Just gonna, yeah, so just using your pin around those hard corners, you'll get through them. And I just usually use my middle finger here on my right hand to hold down the rolled over sections before they go under the presser foot. There, now I'm back on grain. So I'm back on grain, so now I can just keep going just with my fingers. And so I'm pulling here with my thumb and my pointer. So that's where I was talking about in the email about the pulling. And it is only so slightly, because see this, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's a little bit of a curve right before the presser foot of the of the fabric just starting to automatically fold over, and that's what you want, because then it's less work and it's less guidance and it's going to take less time, which is better in the end. Give it a little tug through as it's coming through the presser foot, just to encourage longer stitches and keep everything flat. And of course, your dress isn't just going to end abruptly. You're going to come around to where you started, and then it just feeds right into that seam, so it ends nicely. And like I said, you might have to touch it up a little bit at the end, because it might, sometimes the seam kind of lets go a little bit, I guess, where it's not as narrow as you'd like it. So sometimes you just have to touch it up with a couple hand stitches, but I mean, that's easy enough. I sometimes have to do that, but once you get a lot of really good practice, you won't have to do that as much. Let's see if I can get you to see this. So there's a little hem. It probably looks smaller on the video than it actually is. Get it to focus a little bit. But yeah, I used black thread so you can see it. Let's see here. Yeah, so it turns out nice. Let me know if you can see it all. If you can't see it, just let me know. Like I said, we can meet up whenever and take a look at it. Yeah, yeah, it didn't turn out too bad. But yeah, hopefully it helps. Bye.